Hello viewers, my name is Daniel Mugoya once again. Welcome back to the show. It's a pleasure that I am hosting someone so important today. Thank you very much for being part of this team. I will not introduce her. I will need her to introduce her name. Well,
hello. I am Bugonzi Antonio, a medical student.
Could you kindly just speak loud for the benefit of our audience?
Oh, I am Bugonzi Antonio, a medical student, currently doing rotations at Naguru.
Currently doing?
My medical practice.
Medical practice?
Yeah. More of student practice because I'm still a student.
Yes. Okay, so I was trying to make a lot of research on what transpired when the Queen, the late Queen, Elizabeth II, visited Uganda in 2007. And one of the results I got through the internet was someone like you. You're a big person now, but of course, all the connections got me to you.
Yes, I'm
You presented the flower to the Queen. Where was that?
It was at State House. Yes, back in 2007. When, of course, Chogam was happening in Uganda. Yes.
Okay.
Of course, how that happened was through my father, of course. He was working in government at that time. He still is. So of course, they let them know that they needed young girls, to be a flower girl technically, and give the flowers to the Queen and welcome her to Uganda.
The government wanted someone.
Yes.
The government contacted your father.
Yes.
That your girl could be the best person, or they contacted your father to look for someone who would make it.
To look for a young girl, of course, who can present flowers to the Queen. And of course, as a father, I have a young girl. I have a child, a daughter, so why go any further? There's someone close by around. Of course, as a child.
If you remember, what were you doing when he came and...
I can't remember the exact details, but of course, as a child, you've been told that, you're going to present flowers to the Queen. And of course, I'm like, what Queen? They're like, Queen of England, of course. I'm like, okay, Queen of England. Of course, you don't think of it much as a big deal because as a child...
How old were you by then?
I was around 8 years of age.
Which class?
P4.
Which school?
Green Hill Academy.
Green Hill Academy. That is the...
Chibuli.
Chibuli, yes.
Chibuli,
yeah.
Academy, yes.
So, your father tells you?
Yes, he tells me I'm going to do that. Of course, as a child, it's more of excitement that, I'm going to get some time off school and dress nice.
So, what came into your mind was excitement. You're going to get off school and do something else.
Most of the things you want to do is play, do something else that's fun. Of course, it's an interesting activity. You get to have your hair done as a girl, because I got my hair done in a nice hairstyle, of course. So,
who was home by then?
I was home, of course, my mother,
my
siblings.
Your siblings? How many?
2 siblings, my elder brother and sister.
2 siblings?
Yes.
Okay, what's your position in the family?
Last born.
Last born?
Yes.
Okay, in a family of 3?
Yes.
Okay. So, did you inform the other, your
Of course they knew.
Elder.
They were, of course, they told us all at the same time, together, that your little sister is going to be presenting flowers to the Queen. So, of course, they couldn't come with me though, but it's something interesting because at the time my brother was also still in the same school with me.
So from the time your dad told you about this, how many days were remaining to the deed?
I cannot
You cannot
recall.
remember.
I cannot recall.
Yeah.
It's been
I know.
a couple of years.
Yeah. So how did you start the preparations? You?
Me?
Or everything was done by your parents?
Most of it, yes, done by the parents, but the only preparation, of course, is to tell you what to say and how to cut it, because in Uganda we don't cut it. So, of course, presenting flowers to the Queen, you have to do a little bit of cutting.
I'm sorry, it's a bit drizzling, but we could not go. We could not just leave this unattended to. Okay, so Did you go back to school before the day to the State House, or you went back to school after?
Of course, before the date,
Before the
I was
date.
attending school. There was no reason to miss
Did
school.
you tell some of your friends about what you're going to do?
I think I possibly did. Like my best friend at the time, I possibly did tell her.
If you can remember who was your best friend.
My best friend, a girl called Blessed Chisache. Yes.
Is she around?
We lost touch.
Sorry. Okay. So you went to State House
Yes.
with your dad, or with all your family?
No, with just my dad and I want to call her the secretary at that time, or one of the ladies who was escorting me. And of course, you know, children were quite playful. I was wearing a white dress, of course. So
She was escorting you? She was escorting?
no, she worked with my father. So of course, to attend to the child, because if you leave me alone, I'd probably run somewhere or that in the white dress that I was wearing. So of course, she was escorting me.
Who
to
bought
make sure
the white
I'm-
dress?
As a child, I wouldn't know. I just know the dress came.
Did you have that dress before, or it was bought specifically for that day?
Bought specifically for that day.
I remember. When you dressed up, did you first make the rehearsals from home?
Yes, of course.
Using the dress?
Yes, you put
Okay.
on the dress, you make the rehearsal, of course, to make sure it fits you and it's comfortable, and you don't get any issues during your cutscene.
Okay.
Yes.
So what did your father tell you specifically, that when we reach this, you're going to do this and this
What he told
during the
me,
rehearsals?
what he would tell me is, of course, when you reach, always ensure you're smiling. Of course, as I am, speak up. As a child, of course, you'd get nervous to speak up, smile, and of course, the basic lines of "You're most welcome to Uganda, Your Majesty," and stuff like that. Because it wasn't really a long interaction. It was just simple interaction. Present the flowers.
Where were you guys staying by then?
Still in the same place.
Still in the same place.
Yes.
Okay. You reached State House. Just if you can remember, because you were young, 8 years. You were young, trying to grow up. If you can remember, what was the impression? You know, first impression lasts a lot. What was the impression looking at the guests and the nature of the environment at State House? That was Nakasero or Entebbe? Entebbe. What was the environment?
The environment, of course, everything was on high alert. Very much high alert. Plenty of security. Of course, everything was much like in order, and many people, of course, seeing that many people in one place and quite organized. That was much of the impression that, of course, there's someone really big coming, and I'm the one to give them flowers. So
did you go with the flowers to Entebbe, or you found them there?
I found them there.
So who brought the flowers to you and to hand over to the Queen?
Oh, I don't remember her name, but the lady who was escorting me and most of the time with me, she's the one who had the flowers. She gave me the flowers to hand over to the Queen.
And you handed over the flowers to Queen?
Yes.
How did you feel?
And I feel, of course, I was happy that I did not mess up when I was doing that, and that I kept my composure and posture, and I was smiling through it. So I was happy about that.
Just if you can look at the camera, remind us how the smile was.
It's typically the same smile that I have right, of course, that I've grown.
Supposing
right now.
the late Queen is you're presenting the flower, just a smile.
Oh, a smile. Of course, I had the bouquet in my hands, and of course, I was just like, "Oh, you're most welcome to Uganda, Your Majesty." A bow, smile, hand over the flowers. Yes.
How long did that take?
Less than a minute, possibly. Less than 1 minute.
That is interesting. There are very, very, very many people who need even just a second who needed a second with the late Queen. So you had less than a minute with the Queen of England. So at that time, did you still recognize that you were with the Queen, or you were with just somebody just named the Queen? Or did you really know the person you were giving the flowers to?
Back then, not much significance. Because of course the only thing that comes to me is, oh, a white person, because of course all of us are blacks here, so it's just like, oh, a white person presenting. Of course you're like, oh yes, she's from England, of course she has to be white. Then after that, you're done with what you had to do and you rush off back to play.
So after the function, after presenting the flowers, what did you do next?
I went to eat. I went to eat. I went to look for food, yes.
You went to eat food?
Yes, there was a nice cafeteria with plenty of food. I went to eat.
Buffet?
Yes.
Self-service?
Yes.
Did you serve yourself?
Yes.
Do you remember the kind of food?
Cakes. There was a lot of cakes and that's what I wanted at that time.
So the function, you left the function to go on. And you went, what if Queen looked for you and you were nowhere to be seen?
No, I was still of course in State House, but wherever the food was.
But you had already gone to eat food. The Queen would ask, but where is this girl who gave me the flowers with a good smile?
It would have been an opportunity.
So after eating food?
After eating food, yeah, I think after that she had continued with the other entourage to, you know, speak with, of course, the president and the rest of the people. So I went back home. I was taken back home because...
with your father?
No, he still continued because of course he was working with government. So.
You came home with someone else?
Yes.
So when your father returns, what did he tell you?
Of course, thank you for, like, of course, not messing up and that I've done a good job and yeah, mostly that. Of course, that he's happy and proud of me.
So when was that time and what are some of the things that have changed in your life?
Not much has changed because it's not something that I obviously every time I'd meet someone, by the way, do you know I give flowers to the Queen. I never really did that. But the times I noticed that it changed was in high school when I think we were going through newspapers, old newspapers in the library. It's when I saw the picture and I was like, oh.
Which class was that then?
I think around senior 4, senior 5.
Which school?
Chitende.
St. Mary's?
St. Mary's Chitende, yes.
Okay.
That time I was in the library with my friends. That's when I noticed the picture and oh, it was such a big deal that even made the news, being put in newspapers. Yes. One of the major photos that
did you call your friends to?
At that time, yes, I told, I think I told a few of my close friends then, so when they saw the picture, they're like, isn't this you?
So that's the time you thought, you started thinking that it was a bit historical event you attended?
Yes, because it's not something that's always on my mind. It's only when it's brought up that's when I'm like, oh yes, this was quite a big, a big event. Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
So before presenting, I just want to take you back a bit. Before that function, had you ever attended such a function, presenting flowers to any other person?
Yes, I had.
Like which one was that?
It was more to presidents, but can't
to
remember.
President?
Yes.
Yoweri Museveni?
No, not our president. Presidents coming in.
Presidents coming in?
Yes.
So you had always visited State House?
Not always. The others would be at the airport.
At the airport?
Yes.
How many times? Okay, just estimate.
I think maybe 3 or 4 maximum.
If you remember which president?
Like I said, as a child, I really did not know.
Do you have some pics of those presidents?
Not that I carried them with me.
Yeah, but you have them, you can see and...
Yes, we have them at home.
So this time round, you have not been narrated that story that you presented flowers to so and so?
I can't remember back then because that was when I was younger than 8 years of age, so I don't think the memory was that precise. So
someone inquisitive may ask, but why her? Why her? Why not some other person? Why? I know there's someone who will call me immediately after watching this interview and ask me, but why was it her always? I really don't know what I'll answer to that person.
I can just say the blessings of my father, technically. Him working where he works here.
Working in government.
Yes.
That is great. Hmm?
Yes.
Okay, now the Queen, when the Queen died, where were you at the time of her death?
Of course, at work, at the hospital, and so one of her friends people posted on WhatsApp, the Queen has died. Of course, I was in shock. I was like, oh, this is not someone I'm expecting to die, despite her old age. It's not news I was expecting anytime soon. So I went, of course, to Google, searched by myself, and indeed, of course, BBC News and all that they're presenting about it. So I was at work and I was just like, oh, I guess life caught up to her.
Your friend, didn't you say, my friend has died?
No.
Because now that one is automatically your friend.
No, of course, I was just like, oh, the Queen has passed. It's a loss, but...
Wasn't there a time you thought about meeting the Queen again?
Honestly, not really. No, not exactly. Just...
So, what did you say your name is again?
Bugonzi Antonia.
Bugonzi Antonia.
Bugonzi
Antonia. Bugonzi Antonia.
Yes.
Are you free to share your age?
My age, I'm currently 24 years of age.
24 years of age. So you completed your high school from Chitende?
Yes.
Which year was that?
2016.
2016?
Yes.
Then what did you do next?
Next, I applied for university and managed to get a place in a university in China. Yes.
You applied there or it was a scholarship?
I applied. It was not a scholarship.
You applied?
Yes.
So I don't want people to say I missed out some information. So Bugonzi, yeah?
Yes.
You want to tell the public that someone can just from out of the blue apply to a university in China?
Yes.
Okay? Tell them there are those people, there are those who don't know.
Well, you can apply straight through the university that you want to go to, any university of choice that you know, or you can apply through Chinese Scholarship Council and get a scholarship, the different types of scholarships that are there. And yes, that's how you can get it.
So you applied?
Yes.
And you were you were offered a position?
Yes, please.
When you applied, first of all, who told you to apply there?
My father.
Your father?
Yes.
Because I wanted to know if you are the one who took an initiative to apply for yourself on your own, that means you are going to finance yourself. But
you know, my father did.
Eh?
My father gave me the idea. He opted. He's like, there's a scholarship or there's a university. Try applying for it and see how it goes. And I applied and managed to get it.
You went to China?
Yes.
Which year was that?
2017.
Okay. So when you reached it, you went alone?
With my mother.
Oh!
I went with my mother, yes.
You went with your mother to take care of you?
No, just for safety and it was first time travel in such long distance travel. First I went with my mother and as any mother would want to make sure their child is safe, they have reached safe.
Didn't your mother have responsibilities here?
She did. She had a job. She has her job still. But of course she asked for time off to take her child because...
So she just took you there,
yes.
Then she returns later. Oh, I thought she took you there to permanently stay with you.
She just took me there and returned.
How old were you by then?
18.
18
years.
You couldn't go alone?
I could.
I have a neighbor who went to alone. I have a friend called Kenneth Tanab. He left here and he went to Slovakia, alone to study French. I even don't know how, but he went that side. So you went with your mom?
Yes, please.
She took you when you arrived there. It was your first time to travel abroad?
To China, yes.
To China or abroad?
No, to China.
To China. You had traveled to some other countries?
Yes, to Kenya, to Tanzania. Yes.
On flight?
No, by car.
By car? Oh, but this was on air?
On air. Not my first time on air, but first time to China.
Your first time traveling on air, where were you going?
Do I recall? I was quite young.
You were traveling with your dad?
Yes, with my father.
Escorting him?
Yes, to visit, not escorting him, but to go visit him.
So what do we call this? Is it luck? Is it preparedness? What do we call this?
It is the sheer grace of God. That's it.
The grace of God.
Yes.
So, just in 1 minute, kindly give a piece of advice to the people of your nature, your age mates, that everything is possible. Just in 1 minute.
Oh, the advice I'd give. Believe in yourself, first and foremost. Believe in yourself and have the confidence. Because I was telling a friend of mine about how nervous I was about certain things, but it's just having confidence, believe in yourself, and no matter how hard it seems, you keep on trying and push. And of course, pray. First things first, pray to God. Have God's grace and Him guiding you in everything. So that's what I'd advise you.
You're a Christian?
Yes.
Which religion?
Really? You mean the denomination or like Catholic?
Yeah.
Anglican, of course, born, baptized Anglican, but non-denominational right now. Yes.
So, in 2017, you went to China. When you arrived there, you started schooling. How long did your mother spend there?
Less than a week.
Less than a week. She returned.
Yes, she returned.
You had gotten used?
No, but she had to come back and work.
So how was it? How was it in China?
It was an experience, change of culture.
Remind me of the course.
Medicine.
Medicine.
Yes, doing medicine. So China, of course, was a change of culture, a different change of lifestyle altogether, and first time living by myself and handling all my affairs.
So what language do they use
Chinese,
while teaching?
Of course. Teaching, they taught me in English because I opted for the English taught medium. But they speak Chinese all throughout.
So the 5 years you've been there, are you through with the course?
Not yet. I'm yet to graduate.
So you'll be going back?
Yes.
To graduate?
Yes.
When?
Possibly next year, hopefully.
So why are you here in Uganda?
Of course it's home.
No, that's number one?
Number one, it's home and to practice. I need, as a medical student, of course, those are medical students know, you need that time in hospital to get used to how to handle patients, of course, seeing conditions firsthand. And getting also the experience. So yes, that's
so the period you have spent in the university in China, and when you return back home here, I know there are some lessons you might share, you might expect, you might think, oh, you need to be changed in Uganda here. When you look at compare the education system and even the health, because you are in a medical institution. So what could be some of those things that you think you can borrow the expertise from China and share with Uganda?
The expertise of China. Most of it, I don't say it's the same, but of course the medical aspect is always the same, just maybe the advancement. Of course China is way more advanced than we are and the things they use, but what I would get from them is of course the effectiveness and the way the Chinese function. They are very time-conscious people. Sadly to say, Ugandans, we lack that aspect, but very time-conscious people, that's something I'd borrow from here. And medical field, with a lot of conditions and managing people as it is, you have to be very time-conscious because you could lose a person within a minute if you don't pay attention to the aspect that they're presenting with. Yes. So time is one thing I've gotten from Chinese people, yes.
What are your future goals if you, after graduation? What do you plan?
Future goals, of course, to become a doctor. Yes, of course, I'm going to become a doctor, but more to master in the different departments. See what I am looking for to master.
Most of the people in your profession, after finishing up with the bachelor's, then they register
Yes.
with the Nurses Council.
The medical.
Many of them again take the expertise outside world instead of doing the practice here. Do you support that?
Of course, no, because that's brain drain
So,
for our country. But I do understand where they're coming from, because as it is, the field is not filled, but there's excessive workload. There's a lot of work, of course, the nature of the environment. Of course, there's, mostly if you're working in government hospitals, certain equipment is not there, you're lacking certain medications, you're overworked technically. Of course, the patients compared to the doctors, they are overwhelming to the doctors. And you work for long hours, so I understand them that aspect. And of course, the pay. The pay doctors get outside versus the pay here, it's very much variable, very big variation.
This is Bugonzi for you, and we are trying to conclude this interview. I've just gotten her shortly along the way. You can see she was very busy, but of course when I made some research about the Queen, some of the results connected me to her. Now, taking you back way a bit as we conclude, do you have some, or did you make some friends who are connected to the Queen before her death?
No, of course not. Friends to the Queen, of course not. How would I have met her?
So the friends to the Queen remains only one person, your father, who is in the government?
I don't know if I can say it's a friend to the Queen, but no, I don't think there's any friends or relations like that to the Queen that I have made in any aspect. Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Maybe your last words to the people out there.
Last words, be safe, live good lives, be kind. Yes. Most of my words. There is not much I can add there.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure interviewing you. Thank you for your time.
You're most
Thank you
welcome.
very much. You so I can see the reason why you are among the chosen.
Really?
Yes, because you are kind, you are calm, and much of it, I think you are aggressive. Yeah, so not only because your father was working in government, but still you were in the right position. I believe at one point, I don't know where I'll be coming from, but I'll need you to bring me the flower.
She probably did this.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you. My name is Daniel Mugo. I want to thank you for everything. See you next time.
Thank you.